Hello, wonderful friends. Today we are starting a new adventure that I am really excited about slash nervous about. So like Pinkie Pie says from My Little Pony, I'm nervous excited about that. Yes, I'm a business professional showing up online, coding My Little Pony, and actually it has really great storytelling. So if you have kids, you might want to dive in to that show. It was really fun to watch with my kids as they were growing up. But today we're not talking about My Little Pony a lot. We talked about it a tiny bit, but we're talking about my new book, which is called Before You Hire a Ghost. And I'm going to walk you through everything I do for this book. I'm going to be writing it live. So if I'm writing this book, I'm streaming. So if you see me streaming at all different hours, it's because I'm writing my book. So the first thing that I want to do actually is go on LinkedIn and test to see whether my shared screen is showing. Yes. All right. Awesome. I can close LinkedIn now. Pladow. And what we are going to do today is actually the outlining phases of my book. I'm so excited for this. I've never showed anyone how I actually do this for myself or my clients before. So you're getting a look into the secret place, the curtain where the Wizard of Oz is actually hanging out, where the magic is happening behind the scenes. And I'm excited for that for several different reasons. First, because I know this is going to help you in thinking about what it would be like for you to write your own business book. And second, because I do not want you to hire a ghostwriting firm that is not going to do all the things that my firm is going to do for you. And you'll see that and you'll read it as we're going through this together. So we have about an hour today, and then I actually have to do some engagement stuff, and then I actually have to do some deep work for my consulting program that I'm building. But I wanted to come on this morning and take some brave action. I'm being brave, so please be supportive and be brave with me, because this is not something that's simple. It's taken me over a decade to figure out how to do this. And the fact that I can do what I do in someone else's voice is something that is next level. And at some point, I will explain how I came about that as I'm writing the book live. If you want to leave comments, I will check the comments during the last 10 minutes of every stream that I'm doing. And normally I'll have a little banner scrolling across the bottom that tells you, hey, I'm going to be looking at comments at exactly this time. If you want to take a break and come back so I can answer your question, do that. I just came up with that. I think that's a pretty good solution, because people are like, how are you going to do this? And the truth is, this is not the first time that I have actually written a book online. I tried to write my last book online, but I just realized it wasn't actually going to connect with my unique purchasers that I love serving. So I gave up that book completely, but it was a good test run for me. All right, so let's take a look at what's on the screen. So you can see here, Before You Hire Ghost. And one of the things that I do on my computer is I save everything by acronyms, because I tend to go with like more than 2 words of a title usually. And here it's like a BHAG, which is big, hairy, audacious goal. So that's like an extra bonus that I didn't think was going to happen. But you're like, Kristen, you promised that you would take us through all of your process. Why is there a bunch of text here? And the truth is, one of the things that I start doing before I even sit down to create an outline is I think about the book that I want to write a lot, so much. And I take notes on my phone. And that's why you can see this is a giant block of text here, which I would never write, because I do voice to text on notes in my phone when I have an idea. So the first thing that I thought we would do together is go through these notes I wrote to myself that I honestly haven't looked at in months. But as I'm getting ready to research, let's see what past Kristen said about this project, because she was trying to help future Kristen understand what's going on. Oh, also, I want to take a screenshot real quick to prove to my amazing accountability group that I am taking brave action. So there we go. That's me looking super cute and happy. All right, so let's look at this together. Human beings are complicated creatures. That is so true, but I have stopped using the word complicated to refer to humans, so we're going to change that to complex, because that is not as negative sounding, and it's still true. Human beings are complex creatures, and this means that when you sit down to make a story, to make a book, it's going to be a complex process. So you can see I definitely use voice to text for this. So, and I did end up using complex there. So, writing a book is a complex process. That's true. When someone who is amazing at writing books and they've been doing it for years sits down to write a book plan, just the plan, there is an entire process they go through that has many steps, which you're about to see right now live. So that's exciting. And when you add into this the equation of all the complicated things about humans, so again, I would change that to complex because it's less negative. The way we feel, the way we want to be heard, the way we want to convey ourselves as in our skills and the chronology of our time and the details, the small, tiny details that exist in our lives from when we were young until now, you end up with something that is endlessly complex. Oh, that's so true, Past Kristen. And a mistake a lot of people make when they hire a ghost writer, that's hilarious. It's a Marvel comic book character. If oh, let me just take off my watch because my watch is going to try to. Siri likes to interrupt these meetings, and I don't want her to. They think I'm going to sit down with this person one time and they're going to be able, as if by magic, to understand all of them and all of the minute details. I think that's supposed to be minute details and emotions involved in like my life. Like that's what they're thinking, right? Like she's going to understand all these details from my life and then translate that into epic prose. Hilarious. That is going to make me look like the world's best writer. I don't know. Why does text to speak there? It's so weird. So if you're like, AI can do everything, this is proof that AI cannot. And that's not the way it works. Just because you hire a ghostwriter, again, the comic book character, doesn't mean you get to skip over the process. That's so true. I must have been working with someone when I wrote this because this is a problem that I encounter a lot. But they do get to skip the part of the process where you have to learn how to take information and present it in a compelling way with emotion and meaning. That is what the ghostwriter gives you access to their immediate skills. That's true. Good job, Past Kristen. Let's see. Because if you don't understand that your expectations are going to be set incorrectly, and then the first time you get that piece of writing that's written in your voice by an expert who has taken time to get to know you, and you see the tiniest mistake, you would not believe how people are so upset about these tiny mistakes. And I'm like, but I can't read your mind. Maybe you think I can because I'm that good at my job, but I can't actually. So it's, it's not a big deal. We're going to fix it, but they get completely dejected is what I wrote here. That's so accurate. But if you go into it knowing, hey, this is a complex process. I'm working with a partner, right? That's what a ghostwriter is, who is letting me pay to rent their skills so that I can tell my story in the best way possible to help as many people as possible. Then you're going to see that minute mistake and you're going to know that there's a simple and easy way to help like you along in your goals and to correct the mistakes, and you're going to be able to move forward and keep and like gain and keep that momentum, because this writing a book is a momentum requiring process. You need to get into a flow and it will go much easier for you. And I know exactly how to activate that because I've done it. But when I'm working with clients, the first thing I ask them is, how much time are you going to give me? Because if you're going to want to meet with me once a month, you can hire someone else, because we're not going to get into a flow. The book won't be as good. We'll probably never finish it. That bums me out. And I'm from Southern California, so I say that bums me out. And if you don't like it, I don't really care. There are things that you say that I am like, yes, because it's regional and I support your region. So I would appreciate that same courtesy. And if you're going to be able to move forward and gain momentum as you embark on this journey, and a project that is not only going to change your life, because yes, it will, but the lives of the people who pick up your book. And that's the prerequisite for people that I work with. I only want to write books for people who are going to help other people. I know that's like, it sounds like circular reasoning, but it's not. So, and then it's talking about the reason I'm a ghostwriter is because I want my clients to succeed and do well. I think it is safe to assume that every ghostwriter feels this way about their clients, but not all of them know how to actually do this. They don't have the strategies in place to give the clients the results that they want. You need to make sure to do an offer. Wait, to offer feedback with understanding that the ghostwriter's on your team. Yeah, so when you're working on a book project together, even if you're working with an editor, there can be that tension because you feel like, oh, do they really understand me, or are they just trying to critique me? Are they trying to make me feel bad? No, you're working collectively to create something that is easy to understand, that is concise, that is clear, that will benefit the reader. So even as a ghostwriter, it is my job to come in and interpret your story in a way that will benefit the reader. You do need to make sure to offer, oh yeah, you should not, however, assume that each ghostwriter knows what they need to know to help you succeed. And my firm's different. And I'm going to talk about why my firm is different in the book. And we start with the offer, which is what I call the offer first method. Okay, so those were the notes from Past Kristen. Good job, Past Kristen. I can tell you were in the middle of a job when you wrote that. And so you're like, these are really important things that will help me serve my clients better. So let's actually go and do some of the research. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use Answer the Public. And I have a pro account. Full disclaimer, I got the pro account when it was on sale for $99 for a lifetime. So I'm not paying for this every month. I'm not paying $200 a month or whatever the new price is. That $200 a month was the old price. But so you can see I've already searched ghostwriting, but let's search again and see what happens. So the reason that I'm going to Answer the Public is because I want to see when people go online and they're searching for ghostwriting, and I'll also do one on ghostwriter, what exactly are they searching? What questions do they want answered? And you can see there are 72 questions that come up right here. And the fun thing about this is it prioritizes them by color. So you can see, and it also does cost per click. I'm not thinking about using this for marketing right now. I just want to see what people are asking. So is ghostwriting illegal? No. Are ghostwriters credited? Sometimes, and I'll talk about that in the book as well. Can ghostwriting be accidental? I don't think so. I mean, it's a pretty purposeful job. How ghostwriting works. So that's essentially the whole book, right? So that's good. I see this and I'm like, yes, I like that because that's what I'm writing about. What ghostwriting meaning? That's something we have to cover too. What does ghostwriting actually mean? What are the different forms? How does it show up? When should you consider it? All that fun stuff. When ghosted, that's not applicable. Where to find ghostwriting jobs? I'm not looking for these people yet. I do have in my 10-year plan to create a ghostwriting school because most people are doing ghostwriting incorrectly, and I want to teach them how to do it better, which means I have to teach them sales psychology. So that's an expensive thing to pay to learn. So I'm trying to balance out, how do I give them this amazing information that they can go start a not ghostwriting business with, while still keeping them engaged with me so that they can ghostwrite. But that's why there's going to be a tuition. And then at the end, you can submit a sample and I will consider hiring you for my firm. Which authors use ghostwriters? This is so fun. And guess what? You're not going to know unless they say, because ghostwriters like me sign non-disclosure agreements and we won't tell. And a lot of times we don't want people to know which books that we've written, because then we'll get like sort of slotted into one specific type of book. For me, that I would be okay with that probably, because I only ghostwrite business nonfiction books. So let's go ahead and look at some of these as well. There's prepositions. Ghostwriting with white crayon. No, that's like you want to draw a ghost. That's not. So you can see like all the research is not exactly relevant. People want ghostwriting jobs because it is the highest paid writing job you can have, but not everyone can ghostwrite. I wish more people could ghostwrite in one way, because then more people could afford it. But in another way, it's nice for me that it's a more expensive service because it's taking me so many years. And since it's rare, I get to charge more. And I teach my clients that too. Whatever high value skill you have that you like doing, let's ramp that up so you get paid more per hour, right? Because we don't want to trade dollars for hours in the end. We want to shift to a different business model. Ghostwriting near me. That's so cute. I love it. Ghostwriting to hire. Nope. Ghostwriting is wrong. Yes, see, even like I'm like, no, it's not. But that gives me information that says some people think ghostwriting is wrong, and quite a few people think that, because see how dark the color is. And then there's comparisons, ghostwriting and publishing services, ghostwriting versus copywriting. Good, amazing ghostwriters understand copywriting, by the way. Ghostwriting on LinkedIn. So people charge ghostwriting fees for LinkedIn posts. Ghostwriting or ghostwriting. Those are my language nerds out there searching that one. Good for you. All right. And you can see then it does it by alphabetical. So what, and this is what I would love to rank for right here, but let's go ahead and we're going to look at the top ones here. I'm actually going to move this out of the way and write it down. You can't see the screen now, but I'm going to write it here. So you'll see it anyway. All right. So we have, I'm going to put questions from Answer the Public. And is ghostwriting illegal? That's are ghostwriters credited? I don't know if I want to do can ghostwriting be accidental? I don't think it can. I don't know why people are searching this one. Why ghostwriting is bad. And that's a presupposition, right? They're not asking if it's bad. They're like, why it is bad. So that tells me they feel strongly, which is good information for me. Where to advertise ghostwriting services? No. What ghostwriting meaning? And I'm not going to change any of these. The grammar is not the best in some cases, but this is what people are putting into search engines. And then the last one is how ghostwriting works. And you can see for me, I do ghostwriting as one word. And actually, that's something that we might want to research. So I'm going to close out Answer the Public. Let's go to Merriam-Webster Collegiate, which is online. It's very close to the Collegiate if you have a print version. I do. It's up on my shelf with my CMOS and my Garner's Modern English Usage and a bunch of other books, including $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. So you can see there's a lot of things that go into this, but let's look up ghostwriter. You can see here, ghostwrite is all one word. So if you're using this as your standard for language, you would accept that this is how you should write it. If you're not using this as a standard for language, you should be using a standard for language. And that's one of the things I do as a copy editor. And that's one of the things that people on my staff do when they're copy editors is we all agree we're going to use this one dictionary. We're going to use this one style guide so that we keep everything consistent because consistency helps avoid confusion. All right, so I have that. And the next step is I'm going to go to Amazon because that's where most books live. And I'm going to type in ghostwriter first. And actually, if I really want to just see books, because who knows what else is going to pop up. And then you can see here, Alessandra Torre. She's very influential. She has her own writing school, and she's a very kind person. If you ever have the chance to run into her, but this is not what I'm looking for because this is a fiction book. So I'm going to go down. This is also fiction. A Guide to Hiring a Ghostwriter. Okay, so this would be my direct competition, and it's ranking pretty high. I'm wondering if this is a sponsored response because look, there are no reviews. That's a bummer. It might be time to hire a ghostwriter. Oh, this is awful. The cover's bad. See, look, the book like opens up into the ocean and this is like this is like your 11-year-old nephew with some kind of free photo software. So sorry, Laura, I am not a fan of your cover. This book description is also not doing anything. Like this is the most powerful piece of marketing for your book aside from this cover. And it is not doing a thing for this book. And you say it's 35 pages. Why am I paying $2.99 for something that's 35 pages? As you can see, I feel very strongly about how books should be presented. I have strong, expertly formed opinions. So these are products related to this item that are sponsored. So usually the ones in the sponsored section look really good. That's funny. Readsy is sponsoring that. They like having books because it gets people to buy their book services, which they're okay. They're very discriminant against people who are not in the traditional publishing world. And I know that from firsthand experience. when I tried to list myself as a ghostwriter or copy editor on their website, even though I am trained, I am certified as a copy editor, they told me that I could not be listed because I haven't worked for a traditional publishing house, which now I have, but that just makes me not want to work with them. So no customer reviews. All right, so we're going to go back. Let's look. This is much better. Good job, Eric Mertz. So the how to hire a ghostwriter, finding the best pro for your project. Let's see what it has here. Okay, this is still not enough text. The cover's pretty good. I would like lower this grunge blue a bit, maybe overlap, like put a white transparency layer in between there because it's just a little bit hard to read. And this is an image I've seen a lot. It's a stock image, but they've like fancied it up. It's not the normal stock image. They've done stuff to it. But you can see like this is too small. The title is too small. It should be bigger. And this is too close to the bottom for me. I want to make sure to account for any printing issues. This book is 3,141,090 in the Kindle store, which is not, it's not good. It's not bad. And let's see. Oh no, it doesn't. So it says it has reviews. It doesn't have any reviews. It only has ratings. Okay. Well, that's still better. All right. We're looking. This cover it could be better, but it's not horrible. It has a 3 out of 5. That's not good. You want almost all 5s. You don't want all 5s though. Actually, you'd like to have a 1-star review. You'd like to have a 4-star review because people don't believe it's real or that they're real reviews if you have all 5 stars. So once in a while, I'll be like to my clients, I'm like, go get more reviews just so you can get a 4-star review. And they look at me and they're like, what? But that's in order to seem real, you need that. Here's a book that teaches you how to write a ghost written book. Like this is why would you do down style for the subtitle? That that bothers me. Also, this is too hard to read. It does have 29 reviews though, so good job, J.S. Menfee, whoever you are. And that's the first page, friends. This is making me feel like I'm really glad I'm writing this book. And my book is going to be the best one on Amazon for this, for sure. But I'm not planning actually on selling a ton of books on Amazon. I like to sell my books direct. So that is my plan for this book. And I'm actually going to be sending it to a lot of, oh, here's one. Finding a ghostwriter for your book. But it seems to me like this is maybe for fiction. I don't know. And it only has 1 review. This cover's pretty good. It could be like the white bothers me when there's nothing, like put a little line around it, but there's only 1. So I'm convinced that I can do better than this. Awesome. All right. So now we're actually going to get into the outline, which is basically I used to use a mind map, but then I would end up with too much to write about and the book would get too long. A book of this genre, which is what I would consider to be in business self-help, needs to be around 35,000 words. That's the sweet spot. So I know I shouldn't, I know myself, I shouldn't have more than 9 chapters if I want to hit 35,000. So we're going to go ahead and put some of that stuff in here. Book specifications. So I'm going to put desired word count. I think word count is 1 word. So we're going to put 35,000. This book might actually come in a little bit less than that. See, does it want? Yeah, it wants me to make 2. Sometimes I just acquiesce to Google. I'm like, I don't feel like looking this up in the dictionary. No one's ever going to see it right now. I would check it if I was writing. Ugh, I can't help myself. Let's see. So it's not in there. So it's 2 words for sure. All right, desired word count, number of chapters, and like this is all flexible. And that's one of the things you need to have is like the psychological flexibility when you're coming into a book project. But if you're hiring a ghostwriter, the great thing is you don't have to think about any of this. It is their job to think about it. Okay, so now we're going to go through the topics, which is why hire a ghostwriter? How does ghostwriting work? Let's see. Offer first book creation. Which it's not like I'm just putting the topics. At some point, if I want to be a little cheeky, I'll go back and like do themed chapter titles and then incorporate these because that's really fun. Like if you want to show your personality, or if your ghostwriter's trying to show your personality, they will go back and do these things. Okay, offer first book creation. That's a specific method that we use. And before that, I'm gonna do introductory chapter, which is going to include attention grabbing first paragraph. I shouldn't even be telling you this. This is like so valuable, such valuable information. Don't try to do this on your own. You won't be able to do it. Just wait. You'll see me do it in the first chapter, and then you can try it on your own, but you probably won't be able. I'm going to explain. Actually, I need to put this down here. The first page, your only chance. That's something that people have been asking me to write about. Actually, they're like, Kristen, can you explain what you mean by you only have one chance ever with a reader? And I will. Author trust story. So this is like an origin story about how I became a ghostwriter, what I've done, why you should trust me to invest your time by reading this book. And that's going to bring us to the promise of the book. And then I'm going to explain in the first chapter, and this is something I will preach from my soapbox all day long, that do it faster. The offers you're going to see throughout the book. So I am always going to make an offer in a book. You can see that here, offer first book creation, but I don't wait until the end of the book to make that offer, because then what happens is people are like, hey, this book is just one long sales letter, and now I don't know whether or not I can trust you and all the things that I've read and all the things that I've learned, because this was really just a long sales pitch. I'm going to state that I am using the book as a strategic tool in my business. I'm using this book as a strategic tool in my business. So that way they don't get offended at the end. I'm like, listen, I'm giving you all this information in this book. You will get all the information you need. But if you want help implementing, I am going to have you pay me for that. And a lot of times they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I have the information if I want to try it for myself. And also, if someone uses this book to understand how to write a better business nonfiction book, and then they hire us for editing, it's going to go a lot smoother, because we do offer those services. We don't offer anything a la carte. We have packages, but we will help you fix the book you've already written. It's just so much more work for everybody involved, including you, than if you're like, here's the book I've written, now ghostwrite it, which I have done for people. It's essentially, I sit and I rewrite the book. I ask them follow-up questions. I make sure their voice is in tone, that we have the offer, all of that fun stuff. So that might be a good chapter. What if I already have a book I've written and I know I need help? So that would be a great chapter, because this is something that we talk about a lot. So introductory chapter, we got all those things. Why hire a ghostwriter? How does ghostwriting work? How do I make sure the ghost writer I hire will be a good fit for my personality? This is important because you're going to be spending a lot of time with this person. You can see I'm doing upstyle already. No, I'm going to have you ignore that. Why, Google? Okay, the first page, your only chance, and then be like, how do I know which stories should go into my book? And then let's see, how do I know? There's another chapter in my head that I'm trying to shove in here. I mean, I'm not trying to shove because I have plenty of room. How does ghostwriting work? So that's there. How do I make sure? I point at my chin a lot when I'm thinking. I also mess with my glasses and play with my hair. How do I know which story should go into my book? Yeah, so under how does ghostwriting work? You talk about the origins of ghostwriting, because that might be like, it's always good to add context, and history is context. So that's one of the things that I work with to help my authors do. The origins of ghostwriting, ways of communicating between ghostwriter and author. And I always call my clients the author. It's their story. I'm the writer, but they're the author. Does that make sense? Like, the book wouldn't exist without them. I couldn't do it myself, and it's not even in my voice. So I'm not saying that I'm the author. This might be actually a good chapter to talk about this question, how ghostwriter crediting works, because it's changing. It's changed a lot. And a lot of times now, for the really big ghostwriters, you'll see their name on the book and it'll say, like, name of the person whose story it is with ghostwriter. And you don't know that because it's not your job to know that, but now you do. So, how ghostwriter crediting works. And then I think in this chapter, we could talk about ghostwriting is bad or illegal, because ghostwriting isn't bad. Ghostwriting isn't illegal. It's a partnership. The sacred partnership of author and writer / strategic storyteller. Ooh, yeah. All right. You can see this is like fun for me. I love doing this. I mean, I can charge a lot of money for these types of projects, but I just love it. And that's what you want. Something that's high value, that you absolutely love, and you would do it for free even if no one paid you. And I have written a lot of books that no one paid me for because that's how much I love it. But I don't do that now that I'm a ghostwriter. But back in the day, I used to write lots of books. You can go look at the books that are not selling anymore because I didn't know what I was doing when I wrote them, but I was just that excited about writing where I would write a ton of different books. And I actually have instrumental music going right now because it helps me in my process, I've learned. So why hire a ghostwriter? So let me see. Do I need 9 chapters? Introductory chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then what? So I said I want 9, right? And I know that this is the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little trick. I'm sorry, my hair is in. That's bothering me. All right, I think I got it out. So I'm going to take a trick from Alex Hormozy. If you look in his books, he does this. He does an intermission where he tells people who are enjoying the book to, 1, go write a review, and to 2, recommend it to friends or buy it for friends. So we're going to do an intermission, and this is an advertisement for the book, asking for reviews and for people to purchase it for friends or recommend it to friends. And he does it through the scope of them wanting to help other people by giving them good information. And who doesn't want to help other people? Like, Alex, you are killing it with this. This is amazing. So I've been doing this in all of my clients' books. And one of the other things that I've done is I've reverse engineered Malcolm Gladwell's storytelling method and how he teaches in his books. And that's what I do for my clients as well. And of course, I'm going to do that in my own book because I know it works amazingly. Okay. you don't want to learn to be a professional writer. If you want to learn to be a professional writer, you should work with a developmental editor, which I also am. A very good one, actually. But it's just the developmental editing is very intense. Like I could probably only take 3 or 4 clients a year, and the pay is too low. So that's why I got into ghostwriting. Because I do developmental edit books. I'm working with someone right now to see if they're a fit for my firm for developmental editing their book that they've already written. So I do it still because I love it, but I just can't scale that. So we always want things in our business we can scale, and we can do the other ones because we love them and take less money for them, but we just have to limit those. And if you really want to like 10x, you sort of have to get rid of those, but I'm not at the place where I'm totally ready to part with that skill set, even though I am training one of the people on our staff to take over for me for this specific skill. So how does ghostwriting work? Ways of communicating, how ghostwriter crediting works. Have I gotten all these shoved in there? Let's see. That one, that one, that one. So let's see. That's a whole chapter. What is the meaning of ghostwriting? So we could talk about that here. What is the meaning of ghostwriting? And if you look on Literary Symmetry's website under the ghostwriting articles, I've already answered all these questions because I went to answer the public and I figured out what people were asking, and I've written for that. Okay. So actually, I already mentioned the sacred partnership. I'm going to go into more detail about the sacred partnership between author and ghostwriter and give examples of what it was like to work with various clients, but I'm going to change their names because of NDAs. Changed names to protect, like change names and career types to protect NDAs. And not all people make me sign NDAs, but I still go that extra level. I will never tell you I wrote this book if they hired me as a ghostwriter, because that's not okay. That bums me out. And I want to make sure that I protect everything that they've invested with me financially and time-wise. So I would not use their specific details without their permission. I do have 2 samples that I send out that I have permission to share. But that's it. And also you can read my books and see what my style is like. And if you feel like, hey, this person could adapt her style to mine, which I am really good at, that's why I'm a ghostwriter, then that's good too. Like I'm fine with that. But no, I'm not going to give you a list of these are the 10 books that I've ghostwritten in the last 2 years, because that's not okay. And if someone does that, I would be very cautious about hiring them, because they might do that with your book. So, even if I haven't signed NDAs, I just want that extra layer of protection for my clients. And then actually, maybe that would be something good to talk about. NDAs and protection for clients. Because when you come out with a book, the last thing that you want to do, like I always have my clients, they'll tell their like really close inner circle, hey, I hired this ghostwriter. What do you think? And then they're like, whoa. Usually they're like, I can't tell that you didn't write it. Or they're really, they're like overly harsh too. I've had that happen where they're like, this is written all wrong, because they're trying to impose their standards of what they think good writing is onto the book, instead of thinking about the standards that we're using, like Merriam-Webster's dictionary and the Chicago Manual of Style. Right now we're on the 17th edition, and Gardner's Modern English Usage. So they're like, according to me, this is not how I would write it. And I'm really into English. People who are really into English, that doesn't mean that they're actually qualified to edit a book, which I learned because I became a certified copy editor, and it was hard. It was so hard. I cried a lot, if I'm being honest. And I already thought I was really great at writing at that point when I signed up for that program. So maybe we should talk about that in here. Standards of writing for consistency, clarity, and concision. And we're doing all those things to avoid confusion. And then I'm going to, oh, nope, I didn't mean, nope. And then I'm going to actually bring that in down here as well. Effective communication and why confusion is poison for any piece of writing, but especially the first page of a book. Everything you need to accomplish in just a few sentences. And there's a lot. That list is long and it's really hard to do it. So actually, one of the things that I do is I'll finish a book and then I go back and I rewrite chapter 1 before I let the client see the first draft, because it has to do so many things. And if they mess with chapter 1 too much, then I remind them, hey, you're editing out all of the formulas that I'm using in the background that you don't know about. And so let's also talk about that. The formulas in the background that you don't know about. And this all has to do with sales psychology. So we're going to talk about choosing strategic stories, the dangers of nostalgia. Nostalgia is tricky when you're writing a book. It can wreck you. It's wrecked me. That's why we have editors. That's why we have ghostwriters. That's why we have support staff to help us not get caught up in nostalgia, because the reader will never get caught up in nostalgia to the level that we will. And we're always like, they'll go for this ride with me. They are not going for that ride with you, because their circumstances and everything that they've gone through are different. And so we can tell stories about our lives. We cannot afford to indulge in nostalgia. So that's a real fine line. And that's something that we help our clients do. The dangers of nostalgia, supporting the main offer of the book. The strategic stories you choose have to do that. We need at least 2 stories. Benefits of personal storytelling versus imagined stories. Imagined stories are not okay. They're not okay. They don't work and they make people mad. And I have had the worst experience with one that was like half the book. It ended in a traffic ticket. Maybe I'll tell that story in the book. I don't know. We'll see. The benefits of personal storytelling versus imagined stories. How many personal stories per chapter? ? Ghostwriting might still be a good option. What support services look like for getting your written book into the shape it needs to be, and adding the offer first method in. The adding the offer first method in after you've written a book is not ideal, because it's like 2 puzzle pieces you have that are from different puzzles and you're trying to match them together. Even if you could find 2 that fit, the picture is not going to be good. So while we can do it, it's a lot harder and it's a lot messier. Whereas if we have the offer before we write the book, it can be so much more effortless in the flow. And that helps, because any friction in the sales journey, as you know, as a business person, will keep people from purchasing. And that's not what we want. Okay, we've got just a few minutes left here. Let me try to finish out this. What support services? And then, I want to add your book as a strategic business tool. The offer you're probably scared to embrace. High value. I already talked about that, just to you. high value and passion for activity. And then, so the last chapter is next best steps. Be like, are you ready to hire a ghostwriter? Sample chapter and outline. So we provide a sample chapter and outline for your book. You can pay that. And then if you like what we've done, you can put that money toward hiring us. If you don't like what we've done, you can take what we have, or you don't like working with us, which is fine. Like I said, you need to feel like this is a trusted partner I'm working with, and our firm isn't a fit for everybody. So if you can then take that sample chapter and the outline and go hire another writer, and you have a really good skeleton structured outline, which is what I'm doing here. I don't like the really detailed, intense outlines because they restrict my like joy of discovery as I'm writing to that place. They don't allow me to have like last minute discoveries when it's so outlined to death. So I don't do that anymore. I've tested it out. It doesn't work for me, but all writers work differently. So sample chapter and outline fee can go toward hiring us if that feels right. And then, yeah, and we talked about support services. So maybe if you already have your book, what support services do we offer specifically? And then, yeah. All right, that's it. And that has all these, that has all this stuff in it. And my outline is done. It took me 45 minutes. I mean, obviously I've been thinking about this book a lot, and I do this for a living, but it doesn't have to be the super painful experience, right? So what you're going to see in the next video is me actually sitting down to write chapter 1, which I don't like writing live. It's so difficult, but I'm going to show you my process. I'm going to work through all of these chapters with you, and I cannot wait for you to come with your questions to learn about the process of ghostwriting and also business nonfiction book writing. So I will see you next time. But as always, I want to remind you, we have 2 comments. So thank you, Jordan, for stopping by. Love this type of content. It's incredibly helpful for those who haven't done it before or want to improve their process from others. Yes, very nice. Okay, so thanks, Jordan, for hanging out. For you who are watching, including Jordan, I want to tell you that you are amazing. I believe in you, and your business story matters. We will talk again soon. Bye.